Hello everyone. Let us start with the series of lectures for C language, and the interface that you are seeing over here is code block. So this is the basic structure of C language. The first two lines which are written over here are termed as header files. So the header file always starts with hash include, this statement hash include, and stdio.h is nothing but standard input output operation. This .h is the extension of header file. So whenever you want to write any print statement like printf or any scan statement like scanf, you are supposed to write this header file. These header files are nothing but a folder in which all the codes and information which are responsible for printing and scanning the statements are written. Okay, if you want to write any complex mathematical formula, for example square root, sqrt, or cube root, then you have to include this header file, this math.h file. In this math.h file or folder, all the formula of complex integration, multiplication, square root are there. If you do not write this math.h header file, and if you use square root or cube root inside your main function, it will be showing some kind of error to you guys. Okay, then let us move forward. Then you can see something called as main over here. This main is nothing but a function. What is a function? That we will be discussing in very much detail in our chapter 3 and chapter number 4. But for now, you can understand your program will firstly search for this keyword, and once it has found the keyword, it will go in the downward direction and it will run all these statements like this. Okay, for now let us just understand that main is just a keyword. If I want to print a very simple statement like my first code, so in order to print this you have to write a printf command. So this is the keyword printf. So its general syntax is printf, and whatever you write in between this inverted comma will be printed as it is. So in between this inverted comma we have written my first code. So let us just run this program. In order to run this program, what I will be doing is there is a button over here, a compiler button. It will compile the everything, and then there is a green button over here. When you press this green button, you will be having a screen like this, and it is showing my first code. So this is what you wanted to print, my first code. So it is over here, and let me just cancel it. Let us just move forward, and I'm just removing this complete part. Now let us just try to understand some important parts like what is an integer and what is the float and what is the variable. So let us just start to learn what is a variable. Okay. Now suppose I am writing something like this: a is equal to 5. Okay. So what happens is this 5, this number is allocated to this variable a, which means that a memory location is created inside your computer, and inside that memory 5 is allocated at the address of a. Okay, so at the address of a, 5 is allocated. Next thing, when I write a is equal to 6, what will happen is that instead of 5, in the same memory location 6 will be allocated. Next time when I write a is equal to 8, inside this box, inside instead of 6 I am having 8. Okay, so this letter A is termed as a variable. This variable can hold any number, whether it is 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. Okay, now numbers like 7, 8, then 9, 15, 20, these numbers are termed as integers. Integers are those numbers which is not having any decimal points. If you are having such numbers like 8.5 or 0.5 or 7.5, these numbers are decimal numbers or fraction numbers. So these numbers are termed as float. So whenever you declare a variable, what I said was a was a variable. You have to declare a variable in terms of some data type or some variable type. For now, here a was an integer type of data. I have to write int a over here. If I'm writing something like this, b is equal to 8.5, I have to write float. Float b is equal to 8.5 because it is in decimal values. Okay, so for now we have seen what are integer values and what are float values. So whenever you initialize some, uh, whenever you initialize integer or float, you have to give the initialization which is float or integer. So let us go to the program over there and let us see. So let me just write int a. So I'm initializing a is equal to 6 and then I have to write a semicolon. The semicolon is very important. It is a closing statement. If you do not write semicolon, it will give you some kind of error. So 90% of the lines that you write in C language, it requires a semicolon. So let us just print the value of a. If I am writing C over here, print f, and directly I'm writing inverted comma percent d, then comma, then a, and then a semicolon. So this is a general statement of printf command. So what I have written over here, you see. So this is the general syntax. In this general syntax, something is written in between this inverted comma, and then there is a comma, and then there is the name of the variable. See, when I read the printf command, it will go like this: printf an integer. Whenever I write percent %d, it means that it is an integer. Percent %d represents an integer. So print an integer, and that integer is a. I repeat again, print percent %d means an integer. And what is that integer? After the comma, whatever the integer is there, it is going to print the integer. So instead of integer, if we are having float value, then we will have to write print f. Percent f. So percent f represents a float value. So if I want to print some float value, I'll have to write percent f. So let us just go over here and let us just run the command and build the command, and I'm running it. See over here 6. It is printing only 6. Okay. So let me print this command in a very good fashion so that you can understand. I'm writing the value of a is, the value of a is percent %d, then comma a. Now what does this mean? The statement remains the same. I repeat again, the statement remains the same. Here, what we said in initial part was whatever we write between these inverted commas will be printed as it is. So the value of a is, so this much statement will be printed as it is, and then percent d, something will be printed instead of percent d. What will be printed? So percent d is an integer, so it is going to print the value of a is some integer value. What is that integer value? After the comma we are writing a, so it is going to print the value of a over here. Okay, so let us just build this thing, and after building, just let us see. The value of a is 6. Now you can see carefully over here, we have done some mistake here. 6 is there. 6, the value of a is 6. Why it is printing 6? The value of a is 6. Let us just see over here. Okay, let me just delete it. Okay, why it was printing 6? Because in our first statement, it was printing the value of a. Okay, what happened is after printing the value of a, the cursor did not go on the next line and it started executing this statement. So main came, after main it took the value of a as 6, it has printed the value of a as 6, and then it did not go on next line, and it just started this executing this statement, and it started writing the value of a is percent d. So percent d is an integer. What kind of integer? Percent d is an integer. It is going to print some integer. What integer it is going to print? It is going to print a. Okay, so the value of a is 6. What we wanted was it should firstly print 6, then it should go on next line, then it should have printed the value of a is 6, like this way. Okay, so in order to do that, what we are supposed to do is, let me just rub these things. what we are supposed to do is you have to write this statement slash n, backslash n. When you write backslash n, this means that wherever you write backslash n, I repeat again, wherever you write this backslash n, the cursor will go in next line. See over here. The first statement is print f. It will go over here. It will print %d. What was %d? %d was an integer. What integer? Integer a. So it has printed 6. Okay. Then it will read backslash n. Backslash n means it will go to the next line. So it has gone to the next line. In next line again it will read the statement printf. Again the value of a is, I'm writing the value of a is %d. What is this %d? %d is an integer. What integer? A value is nothing but 6. So this is how it will print when we put backslash n. So let me just compile this part and let me just run it. See over here, 6, the value of a is 6. Okay, it is very simple. Okay, so now we have seen what is an integer value. Let me just print some float value. So in order to put some float value, let me first declare a float value. So float b is equal to 0.9. Okay, you can declare, you can initialize float or integer at any point of time in your program. So I am writing print f. Now I am writing a statement. The float b is, again I am not writing %d, but I have to write for float %f comma b. Again this thing. Just built this program and see over here 6. The value of a is 6. The float b is 0.9 and then there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 0. Okay, again it is coming in the same line. Again I have forgotten to put a backslash n, so I would have put a backslash n over here so that after this point it should go in the next line. Okay, so I have put backslash n and let me just build again and let me just run again. So see over here 6, the value of a is 6, the float b is 0.9, then 5 times of 0. I just want the value 0.90. See what I'm saying? I just want the value to be 0.90. In order to get this, what I'm supposed to do is just go over here. After this percent, you put 0.2. 0.2 means after point, only 2 numbers will be there. Okay, after point, only 2 numbers will be there. So again, you go over here and you build it or compile it and then again you run. What you can see is after point, only 2 numbers are there. 0.90. Okay, what if I wanted 3 numbers? So you write 0.3 over here. Okay, just write 0.3. When you write 0.3 and when you build it and you run it, what you can see is 0.900. So after point there are 3 numbers. Okay, so this was our very general print statements for integer values and for float values. So let us just move ahead and let us take some values from the user. Okay, suppose you are entering an ATM machine, then the ATM machine will be asking you to input the PIN number. Okay, so for that, let me say that the PIN number is an integer. So I'm initializing integer A is equal to, no, I will just initialize integer A. Some A is there, variable is there, and it is an integer type. After that, I'm writing a print statement. So printf input the value of pin and a colon. So it will be printed as it is. So in order to, I have not put the colon over here. Okay. So in order to take the value from the user, we have to write a scanf statement and with the double inverted commas, then again %d, and then something I am writing here as an of a. What does this mean? So let us just break this statement. Okay. So again, the scanf statement contains two parts. The first part is something is written in double inverted comma, and the second part is an of a. What does this mean? In two parts. First part says that scan an integer value. This person D is nothing but an integer value. So scan integer value at address of A. At address of A. This an is nothing but address. It can be read as address of A over here. So it is very important to write an of A, address of A. So I'm reading it again. Scan an integer value at address of A. Okay, so let me just run this program. Firstly, I will build it, then I will run the program. See, input the value of pin. Okay, what is this input the value of pin? See over here, it has run this print command, input the value of pin, and then it has gone to the next line. Now it is waiting for me to put some value. Let me put some value 6789. And when I enter, see, it has just taken the value. Now let me print the value of A that it has taken. So what value it has taken right now? Let us just print that value. So I'm writing printf, the value that you entered is the value that you entered. You please don't bother my spelling mistakes over here. The value that you entered is person D. Again and again you have to write this person D over here because it will print as the value that you entered is an integer. What is that integer? What is that integer? That integer is A over here. Here you are not supposed to write an of A. Only in the scan of statement you are supposed to write an of A. In this statement you are not supposed to write an of A. In print statement only the name of variable will come, and in the scan of statement an of A will be coming. Okay. So it will be printing the value that you entered is an integer. Which integer? A integer. So let me just build the statement and let me just run the statement. So it is asking, see again how it is running the code. It is running integer A, print, input the value of pin. It has gone to scan of statement. So now they are asking for some value, say 4563. And then when I do some enter, it will go to the next statement. The value that you entered is A, which is 4563. So this is how you input the value from a particular user. Okay, again let me just run it. Let me just see. Yes. Okay, so this was the very simple and the first lecture of how to print the command and how to scan up the command. So we will meet again for the next session.